Hi Brett, Chris back here again to show you the latest updates to your database. Before we start, I just wanted to show you the pull amounts table, a couple modifications that we talked about here the other day. So I set this up for the SAT pull boards event. You'll see pull number. This is your first, second, third, and fourth pulls indicated here. I do understand that we're not going, probably won't go above 2 pulls, but just, it's in here if you need it. Everything has to be checked off active if you want to appear, if you want to be functional, right? So the amounts are listed here. I did do increase in amounts for each of the different pull numbers. I listed the pull types, whether something's a barcode or a badge, and then assigned an ID to those pulls. So we'll be using all ones, all twos, and all threes in the demo I'm about to give you. But you're welcome to play around with this as much as you like, of course. If there's ever a manual entry, that's going to be recorded in the pull events table. We'll see that in a few minutes. So let's go back to our event page. Just want to point out that I did the verification page like we talked about. So somebody will enter a badge. Mark Bowman's been verified. I added the group. This group information comes from the staff table. Put somebody else in there as well. Michelle from marketing. So I want to point out throughout this demo, I'm going to be keying in the ID numbers for both the participants and the polls. Now it's probably a good time for you to start using the ID readers that you spoke about and make sure that it still works with the system. My expectation is that those are just simply different types of inputs, but in each case, the system is set up ready to receive those inputs where appropriate. Just to show you here too, if there's a participant who is not registered, they will get the screen here. And we can modify this any way you like, of course. All right, so let's close out of that. Let's go back to our interface. We talked about choosing the cashier. I'm going to use RF here, and we'll start doing some transactions. So let's start with Mark. All right. He's got his first pull. This now is ready to receive the scan. I'm going to go ahead and key it in this case. Enter. His first pull is $100. He chooses to accept. He comes back, ready to receive the second pull now. You see the second pull shows up here. He does that, and we still have a tally of the total winnings down here below. He accepts, and if Mark is fortunate enough, perhaps he comes back a third time. And receives a third pull. Each time he hits accept, and basically what we're doing now is generating data. So I'm going to go ahead and close this screen and pretend we're doing this now with a different cashier on a different workstation. And I will check in Michelle now and make her do her pulls. I'm going to use the same numbers just because, actually no, I'm sorry, you know what? Let's just say the scan didn't work, right? So we do still have the pull down list of all the first pulls, I'm sorry, the values of the first pulls that are available. Right? So we can go ahead and choose one of those. Michelle comes back, she gets a second pull. Ready to receive, and she go ahead and we accept that too. So the different methods for the badge, the barcode, and the manual entry are all set up for the inputs into the pull box there. And then I'll just show you some of the reports that you've asked for. You've seen this cashier distribution report, but this now just summarize what happened. 2 pulls from Michelle, 3 pulls from Mark. This is pretty self-explanatory. This here lists the IDs of the badges that were used for each of the polls. So I explained to you before that we're using all ones, all twos, all threes, right? This indicates that this was a barcode badge, or barcode poll. This was a badge poll. All this information is here in the poll amounts table that you'll have to set up for each of these events. Recognize here that we do have the indication that this was a manual amount entered, right, for $200, and all the timestamps are here as well. Back here again for the participant check-in report. This is pretty simple. This is just the number of participants who checked in. You'll see the badge ID, the names of the individuals that they checked in, and when the check-in was performed. And finally, there is a request for people with 2 or more polls. I didn't do an example here where there's only 1, but this is filtered where it only shows individuals with 2 or more polls. So here again, badge ID, the recipient's name. Here I added the total award that they received and the number of polls that they have. And this is sorted from, it's in decreasing order. So the highest number of polls will show up here first. All right, so Brett, I think that includes everything that we spoke about. Please do try it out, mess around with it as much as you like, and let me know of any feedback that you have, and I'd be happy to make any further revisions on this as necessary. I hope we're getting close to what you need, and I'm really excited to see you try this out, and I'm really looking forward to hearing the feedback about how it works in your event. Last thing we need to do is the setup of the tables and arranging the back end and setting up the different terminals and such. I'll be happy to walk you through that as well. That's probably just another short call if we can set that up later on this week. All right, Brett, have a good evening and talk to you soon.